Okay, you Laurel and Hardy fans, I'm right below the famous music box steps, and I just wanted to get a nice perspective for you fans all over the world of the way this area looks. And if, of course, you suspend your disbelief, imagine you're here that day with Laurel and Hardy filming that fantastic movie that won Best Short Film of 1932. I'm actually below Descanso Drive where Steve McQueen once lived, and I just want to say for you fans parenthetically here, I'm sure this was one of his stomping grounds in 1944 with that gang that he used to hang around with here in Echo Park. And he loved this place so much that when he came back in 1955 to star in Wanted Dead or Alive, he moved to Vestal Avenue just around the corner where he lived with his mom and stepfather in 1942. So let's go over here for you fans. Thankfully they have a commemoration plaque, but wouldn't you know, the damn delinquents, they scratched it up, vandalized it. So in the film here, the opening shot, that's there, that building from that time period. Thankfully it's still there, well taken care of. And we're at Vendome Street, and that's the opening shot where they pull up with a cart and the horse, and then they ask Charlie Hall for the address, 1127 Walnut Avenue. He was a stalwart stock actor, and this film starred Billy Gilbert, who incidentally became Sneezy in the 1937 Walt Disney film or animated film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Okay, Billy Gilbert, he was also in a lot of the Laurel and Hardy films. And this nursemaid, her name was Lillian Irene. And then there was this other older actress named Gladys Gale, I'm sorry. And she played the wife of a character played by Billy Gilbert. And here's the plaque, scratched up, I'm sorry to say. And well, at least they commemorated this. At least it won't be torn down. And if you see in the film, there's nothing here on this side. It's an empty lot. And this stairwell wasn't here, but this is where Stanley kicked that nursemaid. Something they wouldn't have been able to get away with right in our day. Okay, well, here's a nice shot, nice roundabout. If you would have come here in the 1980s, it was a very dangerous environment, a lot of drug wars going on, but everything's changing. So let's go up here. Charlie Hall tells him it's upstairs, the address, 1127 Walnut Avenue. And there's no fence, of course, in the film. This is an empty lot. And this film was actually redone in 1945 with Edgar Kennedy, another stock actor of the Laurel and Hardy films. It was actually done up there on Descanso Drive at another stairwell. And this is about the part where right here where the cop calls him, "Hey you, come here." And he slides down right here. When the nursemaid got that cop, that beat cop. And then there's a house like in the background there with like a incinerator that they used to use to burn their trash. And here you go. At least the lot's still here, like it's an empty vacant lot like it was in the film. And the way I look at it, this is a protected environment, of course, but at least I'm grabbing this for posterity, because one of these days there's going to be a great earthquake. This is all going to be torn up by nature. So at least I want to dedicate this to all future fans of Laurel and Hardy and the music box. It was a 28-minute film. It was what you would call a two-reeler. A reel of film back then was 11 minutes. So it's a little bit more than a two-reeler. And I'm gonna end this short vignette of what it looks like at the top. And here you go, it's still empty here. Nice houses, old houses. all extant. And in the previous video I did for Steve McQueen at 3266 and a half, I guess the house he lived in with his stepfather Hal Berry and his mother Julia, I guess it was the apartment below, because the one on top obviously is 3266. And here's the house, the apparent house where they would have delivered the piano. And then, of course, when they're up here and they run across Charlie Hall, he was actually English, from London, I think. He says, "Did you guys come up that stairwell? You didn't have to do that. All you had to do is drive up that same road all the way to the top here." So here you go. Famous Music Box Steps in Echo Park, California. And here's the house for you fans all over the world. This is what the apparent house was in the film. 1127 Walnut Avenue. Okay. And it was redone on some other stairs a couple of 100 feet that way, but Edgar Kennedy did that film. And I just want to say they used these stairs in a film called Hats Off in 1927, and that was with Stan and Ollie, and that's the holy grail of Laurel and Hardy films. It's been missing since 1930, the last time it was seen. Nobody knows what happened to it, and this was a remake. But in the original Hats Off, it was actually a washing machine that were lugging up these stairs. So, unfortunately, maybe one day, some fan somewhere, some anonymous person has it in their basement, their attic. Who knows? Maybe it'll come to light. And that one, Hats Off, that was with Anita Garvin, another stalwart stock actor, and Jimmy Finlayson. And if you remember, Billy Gilbert played Professor Theodore von Schwarzenhofen. MD, AD, DDS, FLD, FFF, and F. Okay, here are the most famous stairs in film history. And let's go down and end this. A couple of the Two Fellows, along with the Three Stooges and Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chase. Incidentally, let me add here that this film was directed by James Parrott. He was the brother of Charlie Chase, another actor at the Hell Road Studios, who made a lot of films there. And James Parrott died of, I think he had a drug problem. He died in 1939. And because his brother, Charlie, didn't give him any money when he needed it, he never forgave himself and died of a heart attack a year later. Charlie Chase did. So let's go down. Stan and Ollie, thank you for all that happiness, especially in that horrific era during the Great Depression. At least people could go pay a quarter and go see a couple of films, a cartoon, and a newsreel to take their minds off that horrific economic event that hit the country, if not the world, the Great Depression. Okay, here we go. So, Stan and Ollie, wherever you're at, good night, sweet princess.